What's up, everybody? My name is Jason, and welcome to Small Biz. In today's video, I'm going to give you at least 4 or 5 reasons why I think the stock market continues to go higher despite all the bad news that we see on the news every night. Is it really true that we turn 1 year old a week from tomorrow? And what in the world's going to happen on Monday when Paulie the Magician comes up from South Florida to build me a podcast studio that's going to take you and I around the world in the next couple of weeks? So, ladies and gentlemen, pull up a chair, grab a cup of coffee, ice cold beer, glass of wine, whiskey on a big rock. Here we go. By the way, before I get started, permission to keep this kind of semi-formal, actually informal if I may. And by the way, ENSC for all you stockaholics out there, just got a favorable ruling, another 6-month extension. So they have until late June to get the stock over $1 to maintain compliance. The stock right now is at 67 cents, basically where we own ENSC in the aftermarket, which is up 10% on the day. Speaking of up on the day, we had a big day for another biotech stock, LHDX, which right now is 29 after hours. That's a 13% gain on the day. It was as high as 31, I believe. It's just getting started. They've all been knocked down. They're all rolling over. RSI, stochastics, MACD, moving average, convergence, divergence. Follow me on Twitter if you want to know what the hell I'm talking about at Try Small Biz. They've all been knocked down. Every one of our stocks, on average, are about 10 to 15 in terms of the stochastics is one example. 80 is overbought. 20 is oversold. We're down at 4, 5, and 6 for half our names. So we're already, with the stuff we own, massively oversold. We are down, in fact, probably 12 to 13% on average on the 7 stocks we own, even though we're even money on LHDX and now ENSC. The big loser, of course, is COMS, which I failed to sell at 6 1/4 on the bounce the other day. That's my bad. The other mistake that I admitted to is I didn't sell all of BBIG. Where the fuck are the earnings? They were supposed to be out on Monday. And while some people are saying, oh, they just had to send them into NASDAQ, wrong. They were supposed to report to the street no later than Monday. In fact, there were internal emails from the company, the board of director guys that are actually spitting out Ted Farnsworth's fucking worthless news releases around, we got a syndicate agreement with who? And we bought the what? The National Enquirer. Oh, you mean the same paper that was down to 500,000 subscriptions 2 or 3 years ago when Packer, a former Trumpster, quit the company and he's now in court on another matter? Are we talking about the same National Enquirer, Ted? Soon as that gets up to 82.5, where I did pull the trigger on about a third of it a few weeks ago, I'm getting out of all of it. I'm tired of the story. And yeah, I'm sure I'll sell in 5 years from now or even 5 months from now. The fucking thing will go when they ban TikTok. But I'm tired of dealing with these clowns. They're not honest. They're not timely. They're not professional in any way, shape, or forms. And I've had enough. We average about 29, call it 30% on our profits. We could have traded that money that we've been stuck in that fucking stock for 6 months 10 times by now. And even if I'd have been wrong on a third of the trades, which is possible, what is that? Maybe 200% on our money. And I know that's way over our skis. That's not the average. The stock market only goes up 5%, ladies and gentlemen, over a 6-month period, about 10% since 1900 each year. But we have a system that for the last almost 2 years now on Twitter, follow me if you haven't already, is knocking it out of the park. Well, how come we're down 10 or 15% on everything else we own? It's on light volume. XELA was trading 350 million shares a day. It barely scratched out 60 million. So there's what I call boom and bust phases of trading penny stocks, small caps. We're in a bust phase, but it's the positive bust. The negative bust, huge volume, get me the hell out, like we saw late last year. Right now, they're going to sleep. They're going to sleep. How'd you like that one? I don't think I've ever fallen asleep on camera. I've done Mitch McConnell, Darth Vader, his soul, tumbleweed through the desert. Mitch McConnell has no soul. He's like an old fucking turtle. Now we know why he's married to a hot Chinese girl, right? Did you see that article that came out today? Mitch McConnell and his wife have made over $50 million, similar to how Nancy Pelosi showed up making $35,000 a year in the 1960s, and now her and Mr. Top Hat, who stole the State of the Union address show, are worth over $150 million. The big guy, the biggest example of all, the skimmer of 10%, the sniffer of young children's hair. The word is a mortal enemy to a bad dude named Corn Pop. They used to fight out behind the pool. Did you know that, ladies and gentlemen? By the way, who's looking forward to the podcast? Are you really going to be this crazy? Worse. We're going way off the reservation. We're going to play way outside of the sandbox. Just like Joe Rogan, and no, I'm never going to be that famous. I'm not on TV. But we only get 500 to 1,000 people, no more than that, now that Idol is dead, watching these videos. I can guarantee when we launch this podcast and I get the swing of all the buttons and we got the lights, camera, action going on, and I stop rocking back and forth and I talk into the camera and I've got my microphone here and I'm talking about everything from life to women, to dating, to politics, to the environment, to the scam known as climate fucking change. You can bet your ass we're going to have more than 500 people listening, ladies and gentlemen. But let me start by saying this and then I'll get to the crux of the video. If you don't want to make money in the stock market and you don't need my help growing your small business, you're free to go somewhere else. Because that's always going to be the primary focus, the mission, the purpose of this channel. Anything that we do outside of that realm is for educational and entertainment purposes only. But my gift, my passion, what gets me up at 4 o'clock in the morning, if you ever look at me and you say, wow, he is getting in shape. Look at those guns, pretty swole. No booze now going on 5 weeks. I feel amazing. But if you ever look at me and think, man, his eyes look a little bloodshot or he looks tired, it's because I'm up at 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock, sometimes 3, but I don't tweet until a little after 4 when the market's open on Webull. I'm addicted. There's no doubt in my mind I was brought onto this earth in some respect to trade penny stocks. I understand how it works. You buy the dip, you sell the rip. You make it, you take it. Speaking of making it and taking it, have you looked at Hellbiz, HLBZ, and WISA, WISA? I told you to sell WISA. Split adjusted at 15. Where is it right now? 5. I was screaming at people, buy the rumor, sell the news, on HLBZ when it was at 54 cents. We sold it in the 30s and low 40s. I said, get the fuck out of that stock. Where is it? 15 cents and change. More than cut in half. I know what I'm talking about. And this little lull on light volume is going to pass. And you're going to wake up one day just like ENSC right now is up 10% in the after hours. We're even. We're pretty much even money on LHDX after a huge day. And I got a feeling that GMBL, supposed to report in the next 5 days, is going to explode. I bought a little bit more of it, 0705. I've got my average at about 8.5 cents. But my point is this. I know what I'm doing. Follow me on Twitter. I can help you make some money. Did you see the screenshot? And I did say this was informal. Did you see the screenshot of the gentleman who made $18,900 this year in the last 2 months? He paid me $76, $36 a month as a premium member. That's what? The 6th or 7th screenshot? And I don't ask for these. These are people that are trying to stick up for moi, who keeps asking people over and over to get a premium membership. Help us out. And even though we've added almost 50 in the last month, we've had an equal number, if not more, quit. We send a very professional email. Please update your credit card. 99% silence. And while a tiny number delete their account, move on with their life, most people just fade into the background, never to be seen or heard from again. So if you think you're a premium member, might I suggest you log in and make sure? Because if you changed banks or a credit card, and I know this has happened a few times, but not most, you're sitting there as a free member. You're invisible. You want to be on the homepage 100 times a day? It's $1 a day. You want to be first to come up and search in your category? It's $1 a day. You want to get promoted by me not once but twice a year? Shout out to Ellison Transportation. Appreciate your support, my friend. You need any dry freight shipped in the lower 48? You talk to Ellison. And by the way, when I launch the podcast, not only are we going to have people on the show that are premium members currently for $1 a day, but I'm going to plug whoever I'm promoting, in this case, Ellison Transportation or Ellison Transport. I don't have the profile in front of me. I'm going to plug it in the podcast. So you'll have 160,000 plus becoming aware of what you and your small business do. Is it guarantee that you're going to make money? No. But you got to be known in order to get the money coming in the door. You got to get in front of thousands of people. And the last time I checked, none of you are getting the kind of coverage we are at trysmallbiz.com. So you're going to want a premium membership so you're out there and visible. And if you want to talk to me on the phone, you guessed it, you got to call 866-2SMALL-BIZ, but you got to be a premium member. By the way, and then I'll get to the crux of the video. I know. We won't get but 500 or 600 people. The ones that are supposed to watch this video will. If you call me, and I've called everybody back, the 800.com service that we use, the inbox is empty. So if you want to speak to me and you're a premium member, you can call that number. I'll get back to you within a day or two. We had a massive backlog, and that includes emails. Everything's been returned. We're ready to go. We're all set. We're completely caught up. All right, now, for the tiny number of people that actually made it, what the hell's going on in the stock market? An object in motion tends to stay in motion, number one. I think it was Einstein. Somebody correct me in the comments if it was someone else. An object in motion tends to stay in motion. Same thing that was happening in the fourth quarter when Tesla was getting thrown out the door. Elon Musk was selling stock hand over fist as low as $1.25, got down to 102. Nobody wanted it. It was like, I was telling you to buy it at 105. I said to sell some of it or all of it at 195. It's up a little higher. I think it's 210 right now. The stock is at a huge move. So an object in motion, both on the down and now on the up, tends to stay in motion. Number two, the Fed is injecting liquidity through what's called overnight repo rates. Simply put, because I like to speak in third grade language, they're goosing the bond market. Is it because they see a problem with Credit Suisse, CS, who has the largest, most toxic derivative book? What's a derivative? It's an option on top of an option. Tens of trillions of dollars of exposure? I don't know. Is it because they're backing off of raising interest rates, let's say, by no later than May, and they're trying to stabilize the bond market? I don't know. Is it because credit spreads are tightening and they see default risk increasing in the second half of this year? I don't know. But all I do know is that M2, for the first time in over a year, which is the money supply, and the repos are going through the roof. And you'll notice we'll be down 0.5 point in the S&P futures if you're like me and you're up at 2 in the morning. And then suddenly out of nowhere at around 4:30, 5 o'clock, here they come again. I personally think it's the Fed. Whether it's the repo rates, whether they're doing it through some offshore fund that they've been accused of having in Belgium of all places. It's called the Plunge Protection Team. Small group of people that apparently live overseas that take orders from Jerome Powell. I don't know what it is, but they're injecting liquidity. Number three, OPEX, options expiration, as to why the stock market is not going down, is Friday. So if a stock has an upside bias through a lot of calls, what these institutions will do, and it's arguably illegal, they'll lean on a stock like ARKK, which keeps melting higher, or the stocks, most importantly, that she owns, Coin, Tesla, Nvidia, because they can not only make money as the stock goes higher, but if they place call bets a month ago, a week ago, and they hit what's called the strike price, they can make 3, 4, 5 times on their money. So there's squeeze in the market higher, or trying to. We were down a little, but we were down bigger this morning in the overall averages. But Cathie Wood stocks, the high beta names, are doing well. There's a lot of upside or call bias. So that should end Friday afternoon, Monday morning. What's another reason why? We ran out of sellers, number 4. I've said this repeatedly. Follow me on Twitter at TrySmallBiz. Bear markets often come to an end when you run out of sellers. There's just nobody left to sell of any size. They already panicked in December. The dumb money, the retail investors, they sold Tesla at 102 and now they're fucking buying it back at 212. Wrong. Stupid. That's why they never beat the market like we do. And by the way, I could talk for hours about this. If you can't take being down 20%, you don't deserve to be up 200. We were up 9x last year. If you're sitting there at home right now going, holy shit, look at COMS. Yeah, it's getting crushed. I made a mistake not selling it. I've said that a million times before. But if you're sitting there down, I would say across the board, no more than 15%, now that ENSC and LHDXs have big moves today to the upside, and it's bothering you, you're in too heavy. You need to cut it back. Most of you should not have more than 20% of your money in something like what we're trading. 80% of it, if not more, should be indexed to the market. Marry your mutual funds, date your stocks. Get a mutual fund from Fidelity, T. Rowe, something low cost, tied to the S&P and or the NASDAQ 100, and just add what you can every month. And when we crash, as we did the last 6 months, under one of the worst bear markets since 1970, you double down if you can. You dollar cost average. You take advantage of the weakness. You get more shares of your mutual fund. And then 10 years from now, 20 years from now, preferably in a tax-sheltered account like a 401k and an IRA. And by the way, a lot of what I'm saying right now, we're going to talk a lot about on the podcast. Many of you have said you need to do a class. I will do plenty of classes. I will do half an hour podcasts on one or two subjects, and I won't goof around as much in those types of podcasts or episodes. Some episodes are going to be off the wall. Some are going to have people quitting. Just, oh my God, I knew he fucking swore all the time, but now that he says that men can't get pregnant, no, they can't. I don't care what these wackos that are trying to bait you into a fight have to say on social media. Women get pregnant and men impregnate them. That's as far as it fucking needs to go. So for all you nut jobs out there that go by he, him, or she, her, you're on the wrong fucking channel in case you haven't heard. And until next time, always remember that I love you guys and gals. And thanks so much for watching.